The Highway Stranger. I should start by saying this. If you ever find yourself driving alone on Highway 41 after midnight, and you see someone standing at the side of the road with their thumb out, don't stop. Even if they look harmless, even if they look scared, even if they look like someone you could trust. I didn't listen to that advice, and I'm writing this now only because I don't know what else to do with what happened. I was heading back home after visiting my sister in Wisconsin. Long drive, late hour, empty road, and the kind of cold that creeps in through the vents no matter how high you turn the heat. The sky was clear, the moon was bright, and I remember thinking the night felt too quiet. I don't know why I noticed that. Maybe some part of me already knew something wasn't right. I saw him around mile marker 118. A man standing at the edge of the asphalt, facing the road, one arm raised in a slow, almost lazy thumb-out gesture. He wasn't waving or moving frantically like most hitchhikers. He looked almost patient, like he knew someone would stop for him eventually. I should have kept driving. Instead, I slowed down, rolled to a stop, and cracked the passenger window. "Heading south?" he asked. Calm voice, low, no accent. He looked like he was in his mid-30s, maybe early 40s, clean clothes, no bag, no jacket, despite the cold. "Yeah," I said. "Need a ride?" He nodded once, steady and unhurried, like this wasn't a favor at all, but something he expected. I unlocked the door. He got in without a word and gently closed it behind him. As soon as he did, the inside of my car felt colder. I figured it was because he wasn't wearing a jacket. We drove in silence for a few minutes. I didn't want to be rude, so I tried to start with something simple. "Where you headed?" "Not far," he said. "Just keep going. I'll tell you when to turn." Not far, on a highway with nothing but farmland and dark woods for miles. I tried not to think about that. He put his hands on his knees and tapped them gently. 3 taps on the left knee. Pause. 3 taps on the right. Pause. Over and over, soft, rhythmic, almost like a code. I tried to ignore it, but after a minute, it was impossible not to notice. "You okay?" I asked. He didn't look at me. Just a habit. The tapping didn't stop. I turned on the radio to break the tension. Static. I switched stations. More static. I tried AM. Nothing. That made no sense. This was the Midwest, not the middle of the desert. The man finally spoke. "You ever notice how quiet this road gets after midnight?" I glanced at him. His eyes were fixed on the windshield, unblinking. "I guess. Most people don't," he said. "Most people don't really listen." Something in the way he said it made me uncomfortable. I turned the heater up again, though it didn't help. We drove for another 15 minutes. The tapping continued. Left knee, pause, right knee, pause. Always 3 taps, always the same rhythm. I felt it in my teeth. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. "You shouldn't have stopped for me." I gripped the steering wheel tighter. "Why's that?" He turned his head slowly, like he hadn't moved his neck in a long time. His eyes met mine, and for a split second, I felt something wrong behind them. Not anger, not insanity. Something colder. Because you're not supposed to pick up things you can't put down. I almost laughed, thinking he was making some weird joke. But he wasn't smiling. His face was completely still. "What does that mean?" I asked. He didn't answer. He just went back to tapping. We reached a long stretch of woods. No houses, no streetlights, just darkness. I checked the clock. 1:13 a.m. The man suddenly straightened in his seat. "Turn off here," he said. "There's no road." "There is." I looked again. My headlights caught the faint outline of a dirt path cutting into the woods. I swear it hadn't been there a second earlier. I stopped the car. "I'm not driving into the woods," I said. He nodded as if he expected that answer. Then he leaned slightly toward me. "Do you know how many people disappear on this highway? Look, man, I'm dropping you off here." He didn't move. He didn't argue. He didn't raise his voice. He simply said, "You already turned." I opened my mouth to tell him he was wrong, but when I looked ahead, my breath caught in my throat. The car was no longer on the highway. My headlights illuminated trees on both sides, dense and close, pressing in like they were leaning toward the car. The asphalt was gone. We were already halfway down that dirt path. There was no turn. There was no moment when I changed direction. We were just here. "Stop the car," he said softly. I slammed the brakes. Gravel crunched. The engine hummed like nothing was wrong. The man finally stopped tapping. "This is where we get out," he said. "We?" He smiled for the first time. It was small, sad almost. "You think you're leaving here alone?" My heart hammered. I threw the car into reverse, but the car didn't move. The tires spun, but we didn't go backward. It felt like something heavy was holding the car in place. "Don't fight it," he said. "That only makes it worse." I hit the accelerator. Nothing. I turned the wheel. Nothing. The woods around us seemed to deepen. I could have sworn the trees had grown closer, branches bent in unnatural angles, almost like arms. "Why are you doing this?" I shouted. "I'm not," he said quietly. "It's this place. It doesn't like people leaving after they've been seen." "Seen by what?" He looked out his window into the pitch-black forest. "You don't want to know." Something moved between the trees, a shape, not an animal, not a person, something too tall, too thin, and too still. My headlights barely reached it, but I saw the outline. It made my chest tighten. "We have to go," I said. "We can't," he whispered. "But you can stop making it worse." "How?" "Stop pretending you didn't hear it." I froze. "Hear what?" "The tapping." His tapping had stopped minutes ago, but now, from outside the car on the roof, I heard it. 3 taps, pause. 3 taps, pause. Exactly the same rhythm. Something was on top of the car. "What is that?" I whispered. The man didn't look up. "It follows the ones who stop." The tapping grew louder, closer to my side. I couldn't breathe. "Don't look at it," he said. So of course I did. I turned my head just as something slid down the side window. Pale, long fingers, too many joints. It moved with slow, deliberate intention, like it was savoring each motion. I screamed and hit the gas again. The car lurched forward an inch, just an inch, but it moved. The man grabbed my arm. "If you leave, it follows, highway or not. It won't stop." "I don't care," I said. "You will." I floored the gas. The trees blurred. The headlights shook wildly. Somehow, the car broke free. I didn't look back. I didn't look at the man. I didn't look at anything except the faint line of the highway reappearing ahead. When I hit the asphalt, I didn't stop. I didn't breathe. I drove until sunrise. At some point, I realized the passenger seat was empty. He was gone. I don't know where he went. I don't know if he was real. I don't know what I brought onto the highway that night. But I do know this. Every few days, when I'm driving at night, especially on lonely stretches of road, I hear it again. 3 taps, pause, 3 taps, sometimes on the roof, sometimes on the trunk, sometimes right behind my seat. Whatever I picked up that night, I never put it down.